over the next 2 months, but more than 50 spots in one of the parking lots here at the station will be blocked off. They're fixing the area around a dumpster and have to move that dumpster into the lot. Nearly every weekday it is full at the Lynwood parking garage. There are some plans to address it, but they are far from being nailed down right now. It includes reservations for people who carpool or paying for parking to affect demand.
Another one for the record books for Mariners catcher Cal Raleigh.
Swinging a drive deep into the gap in left center field. And goodbye baseball. There it is. Mickey Mantle, you got some company at the top of the list. Cal Raleigh with number 54.
That 54th homer tied Raleigh up for most home runs by a switch hitter. The Mariners are on a 9-game winning streak after yesterday's win against the Angels. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Sunny and mild with a high of 68. Feeling a lot more like summer as we creep up to 85 tomorrow. Next chance for rain is Saturday. It's 60 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO Newsradio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with the KIRO Newsradio App. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Happy Monday, everybody. It is the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Monday, September 15th. Ursula, when I walked out this morning, it was dark. When I left out of the gym this morning, it was dark. Hey, I think it's official, like a whistle. It's dark.
You're not calling it the big dark, are you? We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
I didn't go there.
We're not there yet. I still want to come up with a better term than that. Hey, coming up at 10:30.
Yeah?
Do you use swear words? Do you like to?
Not like Chef.
Or probably not like me.
Yeah, you do too.
It's not. Oh, but I've seen you. And more so lately, I would say. Yes.
I blame you. You guys have made me worse. We're in a society today where we blame, like, I'm going to blame you and blame Chef.
Oh, okay. Well, why does everybody seemingly swear all the time now? The New York Times says we have reached peak profanity. So we're going to talk about that coming up at 10:30. As always, we invite you to join us on our text line. But on our text line, you need to keep it clean. 888-973-5476, 888-973-KIRO.
What's new at 10?
Well, if you are someone who consumes news, you know that the trans community is a constant topic of conversation in this country, even though the trans community makes up a very tiny percentage of the population. Every day you hear someone with a platform or you hear a public figure talk about trans people in a very negative light. But how many times have you actually heard a genuine conversation with a trans person? We want you to be a part of that conversation here on the Gee and Ursula Show, and we are thrilled to be able to welcome Elizabeth, who is a trans woman, a school psychologist, a trans educator, and an author. And for all of you who watch us on YouTube, on the live stream, we are not showing Elizabeth's face for her own safety reasons. And maybe we start there, Elizabeth. Why do you feel it is unsafe to show your face on camera?
Just a lot of things that have been going on lately, just in news in general. But also, there are some people in this area that it's not safe to be around, some areas that are not safe to be around. And so I'm one of maybe 2 school psychs in the whole entire state of Washington that's trans. So I know that it's, a little rough from there. And also recent policies, if someone were to have a problem with me in their school, then I can get fired.
Have you had that kind of pressure? Have people come out and said that they're not happy with the role that you're playing in their schools?
Not necessarily the role. I did have someone last year that called me every word in the book, accused me of, doing a lot of horrible and nasty things to their student, to their child. And I was just there in a meeting trying to protect their child.
What misconceptions about being transgender do you wish more people understood?
We're people too. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people have conversations without us. There's a lot of misconceptions, a lot of, just hurtful things that are going on. And, the reason why I became a school psychologist is so I can help people that are struggling in school. So, we have hopes and dreams like everybody else, and we're people too.
Speaking of that, can you share that moment with us? What I mean by that is, can you share either the moment or experience that helped you understand and affirm your gender identity?
Oh God, it was probably like 4 or 5 years old. A lot of developmental psychologist theories, have been confirmed time and time again. Plays into the average story of a transgender person is it's usually around 4 or 5 years old as you're going through development as a child, when you start to develop your internal sense of gender. And that's when you start to break away from the traditional male and female roles that little kids, look at, where boys play with, trucks and girls play with the kitchen kind of thing. And that's when you start to pull that apart and move in a different direction.
Now, if you could talk about some of the science behind this, because there are people who will say you're either a woman or a man. There's and they think all of this is baloney, brainwashing, et cetera. What do you want people listening right now to know in terms of what the science has said?
So, biology 101, going into chromosomes, it's the SRY gene during development in the first trimester of pregnancy. That will split sometimes from the Y chromosome to the X chromosome. And when you get that split, sometimes you get XXY, XYY, and that develops during the first trimester, that develops your brain. So if you get that split, then you're automatically have a feminine brain, but then the rest of your development takes place as masculine. Or you can get, during the second, third trimester, you can get so many different combinations. There's a lot of different identities that have been found in previous years, like Klinefelter syndrome. There's some that have, female genitals, but they look like they're masculine, or vice versa. And it all happens within the first and third trimesters of pregnancy.
Now, and so I'm going to guess that nothing I say right now, and I hope if I make a mistake in how I present my question, I hope you understand that it's not intentionally harmful, but I understand that it could be harmful. Yeah. But my question is, you hear a lot of critics say, man, this is just something that's been made up. It is something that kids are being indoctrinated, and it is something that is being hammered in the schools. And now here you are, a trans woman in a school setting. How do you convince people who think our kids are being brainwashed and convinced that they're trans? What is your response? And I'm guessing that you've heard that.
A few times, yeah. And, being a psychologist, it goes back to developmental psychology. You're looking at these different things of how they act, how they respond, how they talk to other students, how they talk to me. There's a lot of different things that you can kind of, take for context with parents and just let them know, hey, there might be something going on with your student. There might be something that we need to take a look at a little bit further. There may be some conversations that we need to have. Only the person that you're talking to is the one that knows what's really going on. And so that's what I try to find out from them is I ask all the questions. What are you feeling? And being through it myself growing up, it's kind of a little bit easier to pull apart these things and to find, hey, let's explore this a little bit more and see where this goes.
We're joined here by Elizabeth. Elizabeth is a trans woman, also a school psychologist and trans educator and author as she joins the Gee and Ursula Show. I had said this to Ursula during the break before you got in, and I'm just being very vulnerable with you by telling you, I don't know and understand enough. And I'm saying that because we often talk about the trans community, and I am realizing more and more I need to have more discussions. how can allies or media hosts like Ursula and I, how can we be more mindful with our language when we are talking about this topic and gender identity?
Wow. That's kind of a loaded question. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that you can do. First one is, if you know of a trans person, talk to them. Like I told Ursula earlier, you have to ask the questions. Even for myself, when I'm talking to another student, you have to ask the questions. You can't assume. One thing that I was always told, a long time ago was you always have to know more than the person you're talking to be able to get what you need, which holds true so many times. So, find those people, go to Capitol Hill, maybe hang out for a little bit and just ask those questions. Let them know that, hey, it's not coming from hate. It's coming from, I really want to know more. And I apologize ahead of time if I, might ask it a wrong way or something like that. I mean, that was absolutely perfect what you said earlier, because that really helps us to open up and to tell you what you want to know. Over the years, I'm sure, the conversation has been happening more over the last 5 years than ever before. I want to ask, what are some positive changes that you've seen in society where society understands or treats transgender people better? But I know there's still work to come. But what are some positive things that we've seen? There's a lot of work to go on that. I have seen a lot more, especially in this area. There were a few things that happened, I think, last month and the month prior with, a group coming to the park, and there was more people than I would have ever thought that were there to counter protest. And that it made me feel really good to see that kind of support in this community, to see them come out and show us support.
I have a two-part question. Like, what does it feel like to see your identity politicized in such awful ways? And why do you think the trans community has become such a lightning rod in U.S. politics?
I'm going to start with the second one first. We're a very small community. We're 0.1% of the U.S. population. It's very hard to find us because a lot of us stay hidden because of the violence and everything that's been going on towards the trans community. So I just think, we're the easiest target. If you look at the laws that have been and the bills that have been passed, it's all male to female, not female to male. So that even splits us up even more when you look at the community. I mean, you're looking at maybe 500 athletes nationwide that identify as trans. And, that includes professional and schools. So there's not a whole lot of us. So we're a very easy target because there's not a whole lot of extra pushback.
Can you explain? So you said more than around 500 in the entire country.
Correct.
Yet that whole topic of men competing, biological men competing against women has become such a humongous issue. And one that I would say even, both sides of the political spectrum struggle with.
Right.
I'll be honest. I mean, as long as we're being honest here, one of the things that I believe is that it puts the trans community at even higher risk of attack by insisting that biological men are able to compete against women. I mean, tell me if I'm wrong on that. Or
no, you're 100% right. And here's the thing that a lot of people don't understand is that before people go through puberty, we hold the same muscle mass, we hold the same areas of body fat, etc. It's the secondary sex characteristics when you start to go through puberty. That's when estrogen hits or testosterone hits. That's when muscles start to thicken. That's when the voice starts to get deeper. That's when the body fat starts to redistribute. So what a lot of hospitals have tried to do and a lot of doctors have tried to do is say, hey, let's put a pause button on this. Let's stop the progression of going through puberty. And once you do that, then everything stays the same as the girls. Your muscle mass stays the same. It doesn't get stronger. Your body fat stays the same. It doesn't get stronger. So to be the part of like, hey, it's unfair, which it's really not, because you're showing through the medication that nothing has changed. There is no difference. There is no one that's higher or stronger or better than the other one, because internally we're all the same.
We're joined here by Elizabeth, a trans woman, school psychologist here on the Gee and Ursula Show. Whether it's currently or ever, what has been some of the biggest challenges that you personally have faced, and what has helped you overcome those?
So when I told my family I was going through my transition, that was the last time I talked to them. And that was 18 years ago.
Whoa.
I went through about 600 job applications in less than a year for a career that I had more than 20 years experience with. And that was before becoming a school psychologist. I actually wrote a research paper on that my freshman year in college, because it was just so extraordinary that I'd never been through something like that before. Yeah. I did become homeless for a while. That was a huge struggle. And frankly, I became suicidal through a few suicide attempts. And I'm just sitting there one day and I'm like, this is stupid. Like, I'm not going to let them win. I have to figure out what to do. I got to get out of this. And I decided, I'm like, hey, let's go back to school, because then I can get some money from student loans, help me get back on my feet. And then I can go for psychology to help others that may be in the same situation as me. And it kind of took a deviated turn here and there. Yeah. And ended up as a school psychologist. So
Elizabeth, you came here today. I had to ask. This is our first time with someone in the studio, I believe. What made you come here today?
Just to be able to get the word out. Like you were saying earlier, not a whole lot of people know anything about trans people, and the biggest thing is that we are people like everybody else. We all have hopes and dreams. We all want to be able to share that, and we all want people to see, like, we're just regular people. We don't have any ill will. And yeah.
What could people do right now to support you and other members of the trans community?
I think the biggest thing is, if you see someone that you think might be trans, just let them be trans. Just walk, keep walking, don't stare at them. Don't make a comment, just go about your day.
Do most people do that?
Depends on where you are in Seattle.
Okay.
There's been some places downtown that...
What do they say to you?
It's not necessarily the words, it's the looks. You can see a lot of looks that are going on. A lot of people are just kind of like, their eyes are locked on me as I go past them. There are some times when I'll get misgendered just by saying something. There's a lot of times I'm just scared to go downtown. There are some places that I will not go. And even where I live, it seems to be okay for the most part, but there are some times that I've seen looks from people just in disgust as I walk past them.
Elizabeth, thank you. Thank you for coming in, and thank you for answering our questions. I promise you, I think Ursula, I can speak on behalf of Ursula as well. We're doing the best that we can to try to better understand.
We are, and as you can imagine, we get text messages. We have people listening. We get people who are, reacting to our conversation. Some very positively, some questioning what you said about pre-puberty, and so we will sort through all that. But I think it's just important for more people to hear from the trans community, and for us with platforms to give you an opportunity. And so I thank you so much for having the bravery to come in here and speak to our listeners. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
All right, appreciate it. Hey, coming up next, of course, we'll have scenarios at the end of the 10 o'clock hour. But up next, why does everybody, including Chef and Ursula, swear all the time? Oh, we're going to be talking about that next. Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington.
When the heat's an 11, cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Get end-of-season savings of 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump while supplies last at Day and Night.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Save 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump, plus no payments or interest for a year OAC. Call for details.
Dayandnight.net.
It's G. Scott. School's back and it's rally time. Time to rally around the campaign to keep kids healthy. Kids need fruits and veggies to grow strong and stay focused. But for families on tight budgets, that's not easy. Safeway and the Washington State Department of Health have teamed up and need your help. Every dollar you donate at Safeway checkout helps families in need. And with SNAP Produce Match, they get twice as much for the dollar. Next time you're at Safeway, please donate to keep kids healthy.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just one cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 in monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Hey, it's Shannon O'Kelly from IRG, and this Wednesday, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk all about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
Which joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures. Are you in pain? Join the free live stem cell webinar Wednesday night at 6 to learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. drmarkwagnermd.com.
Enjoy the comfort of home plus the thrill of adventure at Angel of the Winds RV Resort. Spacious RV sites, clubhouse with heated pool, indoor fitness center, walking trails, dog park, competitive rates. You want to talk about luxury? This is Washington's only 10-10-10 plus rated RV resort by Good Sam. Book your stay today. RVwinds.com for the ultimate getaway. Go now.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling September 29th. Free Good To Go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare is coming up. Are you ready? Herb Weisbaum, the consumer man here. Get organized early with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit from the Insurance Commissioner's SHIBA program. Order your free copy today at insurance.wa.gov.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here. And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms. Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years. That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives. We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day. And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. clean food, and a family that's been doing it right for generations. So next time you're at the grocery store, skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them. Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Costco, Hagen's, or Whole Foods. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
Have you tried the dining district at the Bellevue Collection? Grab lunch with friends, meet up for happy hour, and stay for dinner and beyond. You can sample international flavors and local favorites from talented chefs. Try a new cocktail on a rooftop bar or watch the game with friends and explore the lively nightlife scene. The Dining District at the Bellevue Collection, where your taste adventure begins. Learn more at BellevueCollection.com/dining district.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Investigators are combing through evidence and trying to establish a motive in the murder of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. Meanwhile, the organization he founded, Turning Point USA, says a public memorial service is scheduled for Sunday at State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona. CBS News reporter Aaron Navarro has more from the White House.
President Trump said he'll be there. Vice President J.D. Vance also expected to be there, along with Secretary of State Marco Rubio. And President Trump has also said that he would award Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom potentially during this memorial service.
In the days since Kirk's murder, government officials and historically black colleges say they've been the target of threats and hoax calls. CBS's Scott McFarland.
They have to go on all these calls. They have to go to the door if somebody gets swatted. They have to go to the church, to the HBCU, to the high school if there's a bomb threat. Some of this is educational. Some of this is talking to youth or those who may be inclined to, for years commit these hoaxes. But a lot of this goes back to the political world, where there's this urging of political leaders to try to encourage supporters to tamp down the rhetoric.
Washington Governor Bob Ferguson says he's ready to go to court if the Trump administration delays the cleanup of radioactive waste in underground tanks at Hanford. This after Senator Patty Murray reported federal officials have told her that cleanup operations could be put on hold. At a press event near Hanford Friday, the governor called potential delays a, quote, stunning waste of resources.
There is zero chance we are backing down on this. I want to be crystal clear to everybody about this. There is zero chance we're going to lose. This is going to go forward. That is going to happen, whatever that takes.
State Republican Chair Jim Walsh has criticized Ferguson and Murray, saying their concerns are exaggerated. Now let's take a look at KIRO News Radio traffic. We are doing a lot better on our roads. We've got a speed limit drive in most places except from I-5 northbound in and out of downtown Seattle. Let's hit you with some travel times. Federal Way to Seattle, 35 minutes on I-5 northbound. Lynwood to Seattle, just 25 minutes in the southbound direction. Issaquah to Seattle, 24 minutes on I-90. Tacoma to Olympia. Look at that speed limit drive. Just 34 minutes. This traffic report brought to you by AAA. AAA, Washington's all-new everyday membership, gives you discounts and perks at more than 900 local businesses, all for just $25 per year. Join today. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Clearing out for some sun and a high of 68 today. Warmer tomorrow at 85. 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show. We appreciate all of you listening this morning. And Gee, you were looking at our text line and you were remarking at how thoughtful so many people are in responding to our last interview. And I thank you for that. Honestly, I think
there was there's some awesome text messages here.
Yes, really appreciate that. And thank you to Elizabeth for coming in, taking the time. And were there more questions that we had?
Oh,
yes.
I learned something though. She had mentioned, I had asked what happens in public, and she says it's not so much what people say, it's more so how people look and stare.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you something. Let me be vulnerable with you, Ursula, I got to do better with that. I be staring. So I'm just, that's something that I got to get better with. I be staring. I got to do better.
Braden in Snohomish texted in and said, I thought the school psychologist said to talk to trans people, but now saying to leave them alone. And my response to Braden was, if you want to genuinely understand a trans person, and there is someone in my life, a friend's daughter is in the midst of transitioning.
Yeah.
And I was given so much grace. We went to dinner with her, and I was given the opportunity to just ask questions, ask questions. And I said, please forgive me if I say anything that may come, and let me know if I say or ask something that comes across as offensive, because that's not my intent. But, just because it's not my intent does not give me an excuse. I want to understand and learn. Yeah. And so if you want to truly understand, because for so many people, the response is, this is sick. How come you're this is a sick thing. That person is mentally ill or whatever. It's like, if you have that feeling and you see a trans person and you have no interest in really trying to understand, then keep walking by.
Sure.
That's the point. But if you want to actually genuinely learn and try to understand, then have that conversation.
And ask permission first too. Like, hey, can I ask you about some issues that I'm curious about?
Yes.
Because I know that, when I was talking to Brianne off the air, she's telling me that a lot of times that's the first thing people see about her. And so the only time sometimes trans people get engaged with is when somebody wants an explanation, right? Like, Gee, I'll just say, like, when I first started working with you, my conversations with you were like, hey, dude, check out this story about this thing that happened to a black person, right? And so the conversation is centered on their identity first instead of their humanity first. And so you do have to be sensitive about that stuff, because, like, I imagine it would be exhausting to have to constantly explain who you are to people who fundamentally don't understand your experience.
Yeah. And I'm glad you said that. And I think that's where, again, when I'm talking to Elizabeth here, I got to tell you guys something. I get a little nervous about asking Elizabeth questions or someone, because I feel like when I asked a question, not that Elizabeth did, but I feel like deep down inside they're thinking, well, you should know that. Like, how are you still asking? And again, that's my own insecurities, right? But I think a lot of people, sometimes you don't want to feel dumb. And when you have these conversations and you're trying to learn, I love how you did it, Ursula. You kept saying, hey, I don't want to be offensive or anything, because during the break, you and I both admitted, like, we don't know enough.
Yeah, we don't. 509 texted in. Patty says, people ask, what is the trans agenda? It's simple. We just want to live. Now imagine that. Like, you just want to be able to live.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's switch gears here, because we got to talk about this. We teased it, and we're talking about swear words and people who are just more profane than others. And have we gotten to the point where we've reached peak profanity, as an op-ed in the New York Times says?
Yeah.
Because you really can't go anywhere these days without hearing a 4-letter word, whether said out loud or online. Even sometimes we see it on our text line, although I will tell you right now, we're not cool with that. So especially if it's directed at us. But it's not just from the teens who are trying to shock their parents. Everyone's doing it, even pastors, CEOs, your kid's soccer coach. So what is happening? The author writes that there was a time when swearing had boundaries. His dad's generation, they kept it outside, never in front of women, teachers, kids. Now swearing is like background noise. I remember that I swore one time and also used the Lord's name in vain. And I think I told you that my dad believed in spanking. That one was a doozy. Mm-hmm. And so it made me think twice about both. But I will admit that I am sometimes I just it's like, it's a pressure release for me. Mm-hmm. and I don't mean anything by it, but I use it and then I have to say, I apologize. Sorry for my language.
Well, first of all, I just want to say it feels good to look at you and Chef.
Yeah.
And realize that you guys swear more than me.
Not that much, though. You've been coming into your own.
I've gotten worse, and I blame you two for that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Take responsibility.
I have a question for teetotalers, the folks who don't use spicy language.
Yeah.
Are you as offended by swearing today as you used to be?
No.
Because I think frankly, it's been normalized to a certain extent, and you can say whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't see the shock value in swear words that they used to have, you know?
I think you're right, Chef. And I think it comes down to this generation. And I know I'm guilty of talking about generations. No, it is different. There are still people that are living back in Chicago that I will never swear around, right? I don't know if these young kids, they swear around anybody. You didn't swear around Mrs. Dixon and Mrs. Cooper and Mrs. Macon, and you didn't swear around your elders, and you didn't say the F word and around women. And there just used to be a standard when it came to swearing. Today, not so much. If I ask Gen Z right now, have any of your friends, any of you all, ever had your mouth washed out with soap? They would look at me like, what's that? To which our generation, right now, you're like, yeah, I remember the exact time where I had to put soap in my mouth. By the way, we had the worst parents in the world. Who would put soap in their child's mouth for saying the swear word? Lord, have mercy.
But isn't there some study, some research that says if you swear a lot, you might be smarter? Isn't there something like that? Is there any sort of redeeming thing? I mean, I do think it's kind of classless. But...
You know who else swears a lot?
Who?
Lillian.
Oh.
Sometimes she be saying something like, did you have to use that right there?
Listen to you. Okay.
Nick, do you swear, bruh?
Sparingly, no. Yeah, I'm an old-fashioned guy.
Have you ever heard of anybody getting their mouth washed out with soap?
No, I've never heard anyone get the paddle either. Those are kind of back in the day. You know? Those are past us.
I got the Tabasco sauce.
Yeah.
Oh. Did you really?
Yeah, I love spicy food though.
Ursula, what did you do with your kids when were they allowed to swear around you?
Actually, they didn't swear a whole lot. And if I would bust them if they would say things that I felt, I would explain to them, that word is demeaning to women. Yeah. I mean, I was big about that. That is demeaning. Now, they would sometimes call me out for swearing.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. So I would try to clean it up.
I got in trouble. Dang was a swear word when I was coming up. Shut up was a swear word. I mean, it gets ridiculous. I was... rough childhood.
Oh, no.
Hey, coming up next, hey, we got a chef-inspired scenario. Stick around. Gee Ursula.
Now that's how you do it.
He's going left side. He's got some blocking. He turns upfield. He's down inside the 5. Touchdown, Seahawks.
We're all in a good mood this morning because of all the great sports action yesterday.
An impressive road victory in Pittsburgh earns the Hawks their first win on the season.
I mean, taking care of business. What'd you say?
Yesterday's game gave me more hope in what we can do as a team. I love this.
The 12s hear the Hawks right here on KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
One of the best things to do when you are all tired and stressed out is to take a bath, a nice bath in a beautiful new bathtub. But if your bathtub is dingy and you've been thinking, it's time for me to get an upgrade, it is time for you to call my friends at Bathfitter. Right now, Bathfitter has hit a big milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. And to celebrate, they are offering monthly payments as low as $125 a month. Now, I've told you I chose Bathfitter Northwest because the folks work here, they live here, and they love making bathrooms better for their neighbors. And that is important. Custom fit tub and shower solutions are installed as little as 1 day, and every single installation is backed by a lifetime warranty. Call Bathfitter or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation because this special offer is not going to last.
When the heat's an 11, cool AC would be heaven.
Dayandnight.net.
Get end-of-season savings of 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump while supplies last at Day and Night.
Hi, I'm Bruce with Day and Night Plumbing and Heating. Call us about installing a high-efficiency cooling system or servicing your existing one so you're cool when you need it.
Save 30% off an air conditioner or heat pump, plus no payments or interest for a year OAC. Call for details.
Dayandnight.net.
Has it been hot in your house this summer? Maybe worried about the cold coming in this fall and into the winter? Might be because your insulation's just not up to snuff. That was my problem, Mike Salk here, and that's why I called Crawl Pros. They came out, they did a corner-to-corner inspection of my crawl space and attic, and they fixed that problem once and for all. If your home has any damaged insulation or no insulation in the attic or crawl space, you're bleeding money every month to heat and cool your home, but you don't have to. And even better, if you're a PSE customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to properly insulate your crawl space and attic. Yeah, 95%, but you got to act now. Many of these rebates are ending at the end of this year, including the federal incentives. Let Crawl Pros come out and properly insulate your home before the cooler fall weather comes in. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
It's G. Scott here. I recently spoke with my friend Jonathan at DUI Heroes about how he and his team treat new clients. What he told me is that they recognize the human being behind the charge and treat them the way we all want to be treated. He and his team take care of the individual, the human being, throughout the entire process. People make mistakes. If you or a loved one has been accused of DUI, call DUI Heroes today and speak to a lawyer who will listen and be there for you. 1-800-DUI-HEROES or DUIHeroes.com.
When your name's on the paint job, your primer better hold up. Painters trust Kills primers for serious adhesion, stain blocking, and a finish that lasts. Now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick it up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results. Faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma Cloud Phone System. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs.
You sound very...
Calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Ooma.
Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
An illegal alien from Guatemala charged with raping a child in Massachusetts. An MS-13 gang member from El Salvador accused of murdering a Texas man. A Venezuelan charged with filming and selling child pornography in Michigan. These are just some of the heinous migrant criminals caught because of President Donald J. Trump's leadership. I'm Kristi Noem, the United States Secretary of Homeland Security. Under President Trump, attempted illegal border crossings are at the lowest levels ever recorded, and over 100,000 illegal aliens have been arrested. If you are here illegally, you're next. You will be fined nearly $1,000 a day, imprisoned, and deported. You will never return. But if you register using our CBP Home app and leave now, you could be allowed to return legally. Do what's right. Leave now. Under President Trump, America's laws, border, and families will be protected.
Sponsored by the United States Department of Homeland Security.
Jaden Schwartz for Techline Roofing. Summer is the perfect time for a new roof. Take advantage of our easy financing, summer specials, and the best warranty in the business. Have a great summer. See you next hockey season. Trust Techline.
It's Gee Ursula Show. Chef has scenarios all wrapped up today. Chef?
So I'm tucking Matthew into bed on Friday, and sometimes your kids ask you questions that leave you a little bit stumped. And on Friday night, he asked me a question. He's like, Dad, what if there was a man named Bob, and Bob had cancer, or Bob's wife had cancer, and he didn't have enough money to pay for it? And I'll just let him kind of recap and finish here.
Man's wife has cancer. Yeah. There's a special drug that she needs, but it costs $3 million. He doesn't have $3 million. He offers the doctor all of his money. That's not enough, so he goes around and asks his friends, and it's only $1 million.
And he does nothing that day, but at night he breaks into the pharmacy and steals the medicine. Should he have done that or should not?
So if you didn't catch that, you need $3 million to save your wife from cancer and buy her the special drug. And you decide to break into the pharmacy to steal it. Should Bob do that or not?
Ursula, go first.
Okay, my answer to Matthew, or if that were my own child, would be no. He should not go into the pharmacy to steal that, even though I understand why he would feel that way out of desperation. But to do that would then deal with a wrong with something that is also wrong. And I would rather that, and then he could get in trouble and then still not help his wife. So what I would rather do is try to find other ways to get that, very important medication. Again, I just would discourage the idea of, whether it's I don't have money, should I go rob a bank? Do I have life-saving medication? Should I steal from a pharmacy?
Well, I think the easy answer for me to say, and I do this and say this all the time, what I would hope that I would do. At the same time, desperation. And if you have ever been desperate in your life, and who knows, maybe you have, maybe you haven't, and everybody's time of desperation is subjective. But if you have been desperate in your life, you think and you look at things a little different when you're in that position. If your spouse and you need something for your spouse and you can't get it, you don't have the money to get it, and yet your next actions depend on if they live or die, that would be called desperation. And what you do in those moments, hey, if you're somebody who's like, hey, I can do this and I can do that, cool. But when you're desperate, that brings about a whole different mentality. And by the way, I don't want anybody in a desperate situation.
No.
Nobody should be in those situations.
And nobody does. But again, and how old is Matthew again? Sorry.
He's 8.
I mean, he's obviously a very deep thinking kid.
Oh, he's a smart dude.
Such a smart kid. And to have that kind of deep thought, it reminds me, what was that show that my kids watched?
Kids Say the Darndest Things.
No. The whole Breaking Bad thing about, desperate times, so you're kind of got that, what's the right thing to do, but in times of desperation, what would you do that you could justify? I mean, he's
Breaking
obviously
Bad. They also continued to manufacture meth after they'd made tens of millions of dollars.
Right, exactly. But in this case, I'm curious, how did you answer him?
I asked him what he would do and what he thought, and he said that they should both get in trouble. Bob should do it, but he should get in trouble. But the pharmacist should also get in trouble because basically he's deciding that he would rather have millions of dollars than let someone live. And I said, okay, so let me ask you this. If you had to make that choice, if it was your wife, would you be willing to accept accountability and the consequences for that behavior? And in this case, you'd probably go to jail for about 5 years. Are you willing to accept the consequences of that in order for your wife to live? And he said, yes, of course I would be. And I said, well, that's exactly what my answer would be. This is a little bit of a false premise because this is not the way cancer treatment works.
Right. And
but
let's
assume you get bitten by a snake and there's an anti-venom right there. You got to break the glass to get it. Of course we would.
Yeah.
Nick?
Well, if this was me, I would put the news out there and find help from the community as my route to try and, overcome this challenge, rather than the latter of taking what's not yours, because just like the shows, you'll be going through a saga of problems and maybe other harms of lives if it goes too far with theft. But with human nature and desperation, I wouldn't be surprised if you want to try snagging the money on the fly without being seen. Careful what you wish for, because there's more problems around the other side if you go that route. Just put it out there and other people will try and help you.
Good stuff. By the way, Matthew is his dad's kid. I mean, my goodness.
Deep thinker. Black
Sunshine in Kitsap County. I was thinking the same thing. They just texted in and they said, this scenario is very similar to the movie John Q, where Denzel takes a hospital hostage to save his kid's life. And by the way, that movie, it was G-Baby in John Q. Now you know where Baby G kind of comes from a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Good stuff, Ursula. We got the 11 o'clock hour. That's going to be happening. Looking forward to that. 11:30, we'll do Agree to Disagree. And up next, we're going to talk about some good news about those Mariners and those Seahawks and Cal Raleigh. Ursula loves Cal Raleigh. Talk about all it next. Gee Ursula.
Yikey Wawa.
What?
My hot water.
Yeah?
Not so hot.
Water heater trouble?
It's not working.
We can fix that.
This week?
How about today?
Apollo Plumbing really is ready right now.
Especially when it comes to water heater replacement.
Think I need a new one?
Is it more than 10 years old?
It is.
Probably so.
Doesn't heat like it used to.
It runs out?
All the time.
That's a warning sign.
Uh-oh.
So are little leaks.
But Apollo can get me a new one?
Installed today by our clean screen trained and trusted plumbers. They're water heater experts.
But I probably got to pay a rush fee.
No extra charge.
You make this too easy.
We'll even haul off the old one.
A new water heater.
Same day. That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
This is going to get my budget in hot water.
Got you covered there, too.
How?
Our available payment plans.
I don't have to wait?
Or take cold showers.
You are a lifesaver.
Call us this morning. You'll have hot water today.
That's the Apollo Plumbing way.
ApolloPlumbing.com.
This is a test of your emergency alert system.
With Amazon Business, smart business buying tools enable buyers to find and purchase items fast. Free up your teams and focus on your future. Learn more at AmazonBusiness.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Your best source for local news. KIRO Newsradio, Northwest News.
Hey, it's Dave Ross. If you have joint pain, this will interest you. Wednesday, September 17th, Dr. Mark Wagner, MD, is having a free live webinar to talk about stem cell therapy.
I'm really looking forward to this live webinar to educate on how using your own stem cells can be an extremely successful method to help regenerate native tissue in rotator cuffs, meniscus tears, and reduce pain in osteoarthritic joints.
What joints have you seen good success with?
Shoulders, elbows, hips, knees, even wrists and ankles. And in this live webinar, we'll tell you all about the procedure, how simple and safe it is using your own stem cells, and how we determine if you're a candidate.
Dr. Wagner has performed over 20,000 stem cell procedures, so if you're in pain, join the free live stem cell webinar Wednesday night at 6 to learn about stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD. Register at drmarkwagnermd.com. That's drmarkwagnermd.com.
The insurance world, it can be confusing, so have First Mark Insurance guide you through it by taking the free First Mark Challenge. They'll explore offerings from top carriers for better coverage and lower rates. They save the Heward family thousands. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Switching bath soap from sandalwood to tropical essence? That's glamping in the rainforest. Sometimes a different way is the better way. Like the SR 509 Expressway near SeaTac. Tolling soon. Free Good2Go sticker pass at goodtogo509.com.
KIRO FM and HD1 Tacoma, Seattle.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I'm Christopher Cruz in Washington. There's been a breakthrough in talks between American and Chinese negotiators over the fate of TikTok in the U.S. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent in Madrid.
Commercial terms have been agreed upon.
CBS News Money Watch correspondent Kelly O'Grady on the framework.
The Chinese readout from that meeting has come out, and they're also saying that there is a framework for a deal, so it would follow that there has to be some indication that ByteDance would be willing to sell, and perhaps that would come at the direction of the Chinese government, given that this is a component of the larger trade talks that are happening.
President Trump says he'll be speaking with Chinese President Xi Jinping on Friday. Trump has on 3 occasions stopped a bipartisan law from going into effect that bans TikTok from the U.S. unless it sells itself to a non-Chinese owner. The killing of Charlie Kirk was not the end of his podcast, says CBS's Stacey Lynn.
The vice president filled in for the late conservative activist.
J.D. Vance here, live from my office in the White House complex, and filling in for somebody who cannot be filled in for.
He paid tribute to his friend.
He was a joyful warrior for our country.
And blamed the attack on what he called left-wing violence.
We're going to talk about how to dismantle that and how to bring real unity that can only come when we tell the truth.
The man accused of killing Kirk is scheduled to be arraigned tomorrow on capital murder charges. FBI Director Kash Patel tells Fox that DNA on a towel wrapped around a rifle found near the site where Kirk was killed matches that of the 22-year-old accused in the killing. A fired Justice Department employee is taking the government to court. Here's CBS's Matt Piper.
Maureen Comey is suing over her abrupt firing in July. The former federal prosecutor brought criminal cases against Ghislaine Maxwell and Sean Diddy Combs and was dismissed over the summer. Comey, the daughter of former FBI Director James Comey, says in the federal lawsuit that she was not provided any cause or notice and says her firing was unlawful and unconstitutional.
The battle lines are being drawn as we get closer to the end of the month and the deadline for Congress to fund the federal government. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian is watching it all unfold.
You have some Democrats, particularly Democratic leaders, who say they are not going to back a bill unless it's bipartisan and include some provisions to deal with health care. They're still upset about those Medicaid cuts in the big, beautiful bill. Also, a big deadline coming up at the end of the year to potentially extend subsidies from the Obamacare or Affordable Care Act. That's something that's important to Democrats.
On Wall Street, less than 2 hours before the close, the Dow is up slightly. NASDAQ up almost 1% at this hour. This is CBS News.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all your car care needs. Get the parts and service you need fast from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
A serious crime against a child being investigated at a Seattle encampment. We'll tell you more about that in just a moment. But first, KIRO News Radio traffic. We've got one issue to tell you about. 405 southbound at Northeast 44th in Renton. A collision blocking the center lane. Watch out for that. It has not moved over yet. We are not seeing a whole lot of impact, though, which is the good thing. A little bit of slowing through the S-curve. That's just about it. Renton to Bellevue, 23 minutes on 405 northbound. Federal Way to Seattle, 31 minutes. On I-5 northbound. Lynwood to Seattle, 24 minutes. Issaquah to Seattle, 21 minutes. And Tacoma to Olympia, 35 minutes. This report brought to you by KIRO News Radio.
KIRO News Radio, 97.3 FM, Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and mynorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. A disturbing case out of South Seattle. Police say a 46-year-old man tried to lure a 9-year-old girl into his tent at Tent City 3. Her mom couldn't find her, then called police. Officers say the girl described a sexual assault. Casey McNerthney with the King County Prosecutor's Office says that man was arrested Friday night near Rainier Avenue South.
What King County prosecutors asked for was for him to be held on $750,000 bail. We anticipate getting the case from Seattle Police by Wednesday for a charging decision.
The girl was taken to Seattle Children's Hospital. Police in the Skagit County city of Burlington are searching for one person they believe has done thousands of dollars in damage to businesses. The police chief says the vandal is stomping the domes off gas meters. It may seem innocuous, but they cost about $2,000 to replace, and 8 businesses have been hit so far. The U.S. Coast Guard is working with state and federal agencies to recover a sunken vessel near Bremerton.
The 108-foot World War II-era yacht went underwater last week in Sinclair Inlet. Crews have deployed 2,600 feet of boom and plugged fuel vents to prevent any further discharge. Environmental assessments are underway. Frank Lindsay, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle is dialing back the hours at 3 popular pickleball courts. KIRO News Radio's Katrina Gishard explains.
Seattle Parks and Recreation says the new hours come after repeated noise complaints from nearby residents. Gilman Playground, Laurelhurst Playfield, and Mount Baker Park will now close at 7 p.m. instead of 10. Locks will be put on the courts for 30 days to enforce the new hours if there is evidence that someone uses the facilities outside those periods. The locks could become permanent if there are further violations. Katrina Gishard, KIRO News Radio.
Seattle City Light says the power should be back on by noon for the 2,200 customers near Beacon Hill who lost it this morning. They say the outage is because of an equipment failure. Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Warming up to the low 70s, high 60s today in Seattle. Mostly sunny. Tomorrow, mid 80s. Cooling down the rest of the week, though. Next chance for rain on Sunday. It's 61 degrees in downtown Seattle. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news, serving Western Washington and the world with a KIRO News Radio app. Always streaming live on your smart speakers. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This is the Gee and Ursula Show with G. Scott and Ursula Reutin.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's the Gee and Ursula Show. Happy Monday, September 15th. Ursula, I tell you all the time, 0 recommendations have you taken me up on, but I got to tell you.
Okay, don't take it personally, though. You're talking about 0 recommendations when it comes
Netflix.
to
Watching shows.
Netflix.
Yeah. Everything.
I never watch Netflix.
First of all, other recommendations you actually take serious.
I do.
But any show recommendations, you do me dirty. But I'm going to
That's not true. What about the one about the concert? The Round the World concert?
Oh, thank you. And that was one of my favorite movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of my favorite movies of all time.
It's getting to the point. It's called Animal Kingdom on Netflix.
Okay.
I'd almost argue it might be in my top 10 of shows on Netflix. I mean, it is so good.
Okay.
The plot, the story, the acting, incredible.
Okay.
So I'm just
throwing it out there.
I'm telling you, you're not going to watch, but somebody listening right now is going to watch.
Okay, let us know when you take up one of G's recommendations and watch the show. Not if
Robin
you've already.
Everett. Robin Everett watched it.
Okay, good. Loved it?
Yeah, loved it.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Ursula, it's
I
good
know.
now.
The thing is, I can't commit to a show. I'm too busy, like living outside of the home.
I could see. All right, here we go. I can see you running your house like Smurf does in Animal Kingdom.
I'm going to guess that it's not a positive thing. Smurf, I'm already concerned.
You gotta watch it.
Now you want me to watch it. I'm going to Google. Okay. Well, coming up at 11:30, we do agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Text us right now. A lot of you are just coming in clutch with such great comments today. 888-973-5476, 888-973 KIRO. Just got a text message from my son, Steven.
What did he say?
Yeah, you know, he doesn't normally listen to the show because he's working right now.
Yeah.
But
What did he say?
he actually said what you guys talked about when it comes to Gen Z tracks, he said.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he said,
no,
yeah.
so
remember about...
Explain that. Like, does that
Yeah,
mean
basically,
he agreed?
Yes, he says, what we said about Gen Z.
Yeah.
And in terms of women and not having family right up there at the top.
Right.
You know, so,
I got it. But in fairness, Steven, he's not really your typical Gen Z. Steven got an old soul. You feel me? Very mature.
I think he's like a lot like Nick.
Yes, agree. 100%. By the way, again, me calling you Smurf is kind of a compliment.
Okay.
Top stories at 11.
On the Gee and Ursula Show.
Okay, now imagine this. Your school finds out it's about to win the National Blue Ribbon, one of the highest honors that a school can get in the United States. Teachers are thrilled. Parents are planning celebrations. The kids are excited. Yeah. And then just days before that announcement, the federal government pulls the plug and cancels the entire program. This is a story out of the Seattle Times. This is exactly what happened at Cascadia Elementary in North Seattle. The principal got the official email. Congratulations, you're in. But unfortunately, when the Trump administration decided to scrap the award altogether, the administration said the education decisions should return to the states. So for Principal Sandra Mackey, who has been an educator for 30 years and is getting close to retirement, this award would have been the capstone of her career. And for the kids, it was a moment to feel proud of their work. 96, so specifically, this is what's going on. 96% of third graders there met state standards in English, nearly 99% in math. I mean, that is reason. How many times do we talk about horrible test scores, test scores, schools not doing it? So instead, though, the rug got yanked out from under them, parents calling it unfair. One third grader said the government shouldn't be able to shut down awards right before we win it. But Cascadia is not going to let that crush their spirit. They're still going to celebrate with blueberry muffins, blue ribbons, and blue cards where kids can write what they love about their teachers. And as the principal says, we don't need an award to know we're doing good work. We have kids to teach. Now, I want to understand, and Chef, you need to weigh in, but the Trump administration pulling the award, what was that specifically based on? What was the decision based on?
I can't specify. I'll look into it in a second, but I think it was part of the broader issue of pointing out when disadvantaged people are doing well, and we're focusing too much on that as a society. Let me do a little research, though. I'll try and find an official statement. Okay,
because that wasn't clear, and I want to make sure that we present everything to you. But that is reason to celebrate.
It is.
And to get an award and to be recognized federally, because isn't that what we want as a nation?
Here's the thing, Ursula. First of all, shout out to Cascadia and all of the families that are saying, hey, we're going to celebrate. We're going to pull up with them blueberry muffins, blue ribbons, blue cards, everything blue. Maybe have Blue's Clues syrup. But it's nothing like that real official, like a whistle award, right? And not having that matters. That award matters. If you have been at work, you know what? This is a time for me to share something with you guys. So we do an award here at work. What's that thing called? The recognition thing?
Above and beyond.
Above and beyond. Now listen, y'all. Check this out. I've been at this place going on 11 years. I have never got the above and beyond. Now, mind you, have I done some things above and beyond here in this building? A lot, but not one time. Now, does that have anything to do with my paycheck or my paychecks? No, it doesn't. However, don't think I don't recognize every time that above and beyond comes out that I have never been on that list.
I could think about 10 times. 10 things I could probably nominate you for right now, actually. So I should nominate. Here's your official reason. So Linda McMahon says that it's simply part of returning education to the states. To which I might point out, this is kind of important because there's a model that they're using at this school. I can't quote it right now. That they're considering adopting district-wide that's very successful. So if we have schools that are working, doing the right thing, and succeeding across the nation, wouldn't we want to share that nationwide?
Yes,
so other
and model it.
Yeah, exactly. You could learn best practices.
Absolutely. Okay. Well, that's a bummer, but we wanted to make sure that Cascadia got some love. Okay, let's move on. I want to bring back this song.
Yes.
Because I have mentioned earlier in the 9 o'clock hour that we here in Washington now are at the very top of the country when it comes to the highest gas prices. According to AAA, the state average for a gallon of regular is $4.66, which is nearly $1.50 above the national average. For years, California has been leading the pack when it comes to expensive gas, but not this week, because they're at $4.64, which is just under us. And if you live in the Seattle area, and specifically the city of Seattle, you know that we're paying a lot more. It's more like $4.81. Sometimes you see it even $5 a gallon. So why is it so high? There are two main reasons. Taxes, which you know have gone up, and climate policy. On July 1st, the state added another 6 cents per gallon to fund road and bridge projects, bringing Washington's gas tax to 55.4 cents per gallon, which is the second highest in the country.
Right.
And as you know, that tax is actually going to go up every year to keep pace with inflation. And then on top of that, we've got the state's Climate Commitment Act, which charges companies for their carbon pollution tacked on about another 6 cents this summer. And you know that, with these companies that are essentially having to pay more when it comes to the fuel that we get, they're just passing that cost on to us. So the last time we got into a very spirited debate, like who do you blame? And more importantly, what should be done? I think there's some stuff that could be done, and I kind of dug into it. But I would love to hear your thoughts.
Well, I don't think, the obvious thing would be to repeal this. Right?
The Climate Commitment Act.
It's ridiculous. I think that maybe this is something we can all agree on, right? Like, we can't expect for the state of Washington to solve this whole thing by themselves. It's ridiculous, especially in a state already, besides the gas tax, in a state where we rely on sales tax and property tax for all of the budgets that happens here. And so while it breaks my heart, it doesn't impact me. I don't make any decisions when I go to the gas pump to put gas in the vehicle. I don't say things like, ooh, I can only go to 2 places instead of 5. It doesn't stop me. But every time I do see the price, Ursula, I do think about the families out there that have kids. I do think about the families that can't do things because of this cost, because of this rising cost, knowing that everything else, taxes, gas tax, everything is going up, but your wages. So it bothers me.
Well, and I want to ask all of you listening right now, wherever you are on the political spectrum, because the state has raised billions and billions of dollars with this Climate Commitment Act. And I kind of looked into it, and I'm not going to bore you with all the details, but they have funded some climate and community projects. But there's still hard evidence, obviously, this close, this early, that emissions are actually coming down, but the pain at the pump is very real. And so I was trying to think, well, what could state lawmakers do? And I will point out again that right now it is controlled by the Democrats in all houses and the governor's office. So what could you do? And so here's a couple things. And you mentioned one, which would be roll back or pause gas tax hikes. They could suspend the 6 cent increase or slow inflation adjustments because they said it's going to just keep going up. So that could happen, although we are talking about a budget statewide that is like billions of dollars down. What is the last thing I think they said? 13 billion, 14 billion? In any case, how about fuel rebates or credits for drivers like from low-income families or people who have especially long commutes?
That's where I was going. I was going with, if you make under a certain amount of money in the state, you get a check back at the end for your taxes. So you file your taxes, you make X amount. Let's say you make $60,000 and below. You get money back because of the gas tax, and you also get money back because of the high sales tax. If we can agree on that, I'll stay paying the same. People that make over a threshold of a certain amount, you don't get a check.
Okay, text us, 888-973-5476, 888-973. KIRO, how about this idea?
You agree with that one?
Yeah.
Oh.
How about this idea? Redirect, well, I should say I agree with it. What's the threshold, though? That would be the big debate. How about this idea, though? Redirect climate funds. So, again, I said the state has raised billions of dollars with that. Maybe send households some carbon dividends from some of that revenue generated. Again, I mean, I believe that we need to do things to slow climate change, but did it all have to come in the form of this Climate Commitment Act and the gas tax, which now has us at the highest level in the country?
I think the issue too is like, what is the money being used for?
Yes, thank you.
It would be one thing if they could look us in the face and say, we are going to invest this in clean energy projects so that our price for energy is going to drop in this state over the next 10 years, and your electricity bill is not going to go up, it's going to go down. But the simple fact is, like, they're selling Amazon's data centers, Microsoft's data centers in Washington State are sucking up all of the energy. So it's like, we cannot get ahead on the energy grid. Our prices continue to go up because we're competing with AI. And there are some projects that have like provided heat pumps for some low-income homes. That's not solving anything. That's not making my life better. Washington cannot solve climate change by itself. So why are we pretending that this is doing something that benefits us all when it's a completely nebulous benefit? Like the goal of like improving air quality in neighborhoods that have been, affected by pollution. That's a great goal, but what specific programs are you doing?
Tell us
I don't
more
see
of
you
what you're
planting
doing.
any trees.
Right.
Like what's happening?
I think they have planted some trees, but
some trees is not enough for like $6 billion.
I think of all the topics that we talk about, there are certain things that we talk about, and the gas tax thing frustrates me the most, probably. It frustrates me because I mean, I don't know what can be done about it. I don't know if anything is going to be done about it, and all we're going to do is I guess the new news is we're number one as opposed to number two, right? We're paying more than California when it comes to gas.
That shouldn't be the case.
No, it shouldn't.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
The other thing that I think, and I know that former Governor Inslee had talked about it, but whatever happened to the idea of basically going after these companies that are, these suppliers who are padding prices and just passing it along to us? Again, we're feeling it at our end the most. What about the companies that are supplying? And again, I always, the other thing too is like, we've got these refineries, but the summer maintenance, blah, blah, blah. So the cost of the gas has gone up. I mean, all you need to do is drive out of the state and see how good other states have it.
Well, I just...
Other than California.
If we look here, maybe we can work a deal with the billionaires here in this state, and they can come through and actually speak on it, and then something would actually happen. Because at the end of the day, I'm not impacted by this gas tax. There's a lot of people that don't change their behavior. It's poor people that hurt the most from this.
Gee, you forgot. The Microsoft CEO, Brad Smith, said that, changes in the estate tax would make rich families move out of the state. Businesses couldn't survive here. According to him, this is the biggest problem we have.
Well, that's always the threat, because with those big companies goes all those jobs.
Right.
So, yeah. Okay.
Agree to disagree. We're going to do on that next.
Yep.
Gee Ursula.
This hour is brought to you by DUI Heroes. Now that's how you do it.
He's going left side. He's got some blocking. He turns upfield. He's down inside the 5. Touchdown! Seahawks!
We're all in a good mood this morning because of all the great sports action yesterday.
An impressive road victory in Pittsburgh earns the Hawks their first win on the season.
I mean, taking care of business. What'd you say?
Yesterday's game gave me more hope in what we can do as a team. I love this.
The 12s hear the Hawks right here on KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
I love my Subaru Outback. Just had it cleaned, and it looks especially beautiful. It is a 2016 Outback, but it drives like it is new. And I purchased it at Carter Subaru, which, do you know that Carter Subaru is Seattle's only dealership that sells Subarus exclusively? Carter Subaru has the largest selection of Subarus in the state. And for a limited time, you can get the 2025 Subaru Outback for 0% financing. What do you need to do? You need to go visit Carter Subaru. They're in Shoreline and in Ballard, or you can check them out anytime at cartersubaru.com.
On approved credit, documentary service fee may be added to the sale or capitalized cost. Carter Subaru is buying down the rate for the 2025 Outback. Max amount finance is $20,000. See dealer for details. Valid through 9/30/25.
Health insurance is broken, but it doesn't have to be. That's why Scan Health Plan was founded as a nonprofit, so we can create Medicare Advantage plans that focus on the real needs of seniors. We've been people first since 1977. And we're here to make Medicare work hard for you, because you deserve more than a broken system. You deserve a plan that fights for you. Visit scandifference.org to learn more. Scan Health Plan is an HMO plan with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in Scan Health Plan depends on contract renewal.
Hey, it's G. Scott. With kids back in school, it's rally time, and I encourage everyone to rally around the campaign to keep kids healthy. Here's the truth. Kids need fruits and veggies to grow strong, stay focused, and live healthy lives. But for families on a tight budget, those essentials can be out of reach. That's where we come in. Together, the Washington State Department of Health and Safeway need you to help make a difference, making fresh fruits and vegetables accessible to families and kids. Safeway is deeply committed to nourishing our communities. Every dollar donated is another dollar eligible families can use on fresh produce. And with SNAP Produce Match, they can buy twice as much with each dollar. Let's work together to make sure every kid has access to nutrition that they deserve. Next time you're at your neighborhood Safeway, please say yes at checkout to donate to Keep Kids Healthy campaign. Together, we can, one bite at a time. Learn more and start saving at Safeway.com/SNAP or on your Safeway for You app.
Have you stopped to think about how you feel today compared to, say, 10 years ago? Are you noticing changes? Less energy, slow recovery, trouble focusing, maybe even weight gain? What if you could turn back the clock and feel stronger, sharper, and more alive? At Longevity Medical Clinic, we help people do exactly that. For over 3 decades, we've been helping thousands of men and women find out what's really going on inside their bodies and take action to feel better and live longer. With advanced diagnostics and personalized hormone and supplement plans, we uncover what's been holding you back and show you how to optimize your health. Our patients often say, "Now I finally understand what's happening and what to do about it." Take the first step today. Call 866-86-YOUNG or visit lmclinic.com to schedule your free consultation. Longevity Medical Clinic. Feel better. Live longer. Let's do it together.
Hey everyone, Hartley Wilcox here. And I'm Charlie Wilcox from Wilcox Family Farms. Our family's been raising hens and gathering fresh eggs right here for over 100 years.
That's right. Our hens roam free on green pastures, soaking up the sunshine and living their best chicken lives.
We don't do shortcuts. No cages, no chemicals, just honest-to-goodness eggs laid fresh every day.
And when you buy Wilcox eggs, you're not just getting breakfast. You're supporting local farmers like us. Clean food and a family that's been doing it right for generations.
So next time you're at the grocery store,
skip the out-of-state eggs and grab the ones with our name on them.
Wilcox Family Farms. Fresh, local, trusted. Find fresh Wilcox eggs at Safeway, Albertsons, or Town and Country Markets. And for a healthy snack on the go, grab some ready-to-eat hard-boiled eggs in a convenient to-go 2-pack. Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh since 1909.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath. You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Northwest homeowners, when it comes to your roof, you need a name you can trust. Techline Roofing has proudly served the Seattle area for years, delivering exceptional results and lasting security. Choose Techline Roofing. Your trust is our foundation. Trust Techline.
Good whiskey requires time. Time to age, time to enjoy, and in the busy world, that might mean just slowing down a little bit. The Heritage Distilling Company Tasting Room and Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, that's a place to slow down and relax. Enjoy their finest selection of whiskeys and their exclusive seasonal tasting menus. Come to Angel of the Winds Casino Resort and schedule a little slowdown.
Tired of uneven heating, noisy systems, and high energy bills? The Quilt Ductless Heat Pump from Home Comfort Alliance gives you room-by-room control and serious savings with every system, and every system qualifies for max tax credits. Call the Comfort People at HomeComfortAlliance.com.
KIRO News Radio 97.3 FM Northwest News. Now, the latest from KIRO News Radio and MyNorthwest.com.
Good morning, I'm Jillian Raftery. Congressional lawmakers have around 2 weeks to agree on a budget to keep the government funded and running. Top Democratic leaders say they will oppose any legislation that does not include provisions for health care. CBS News congressional correspondent Nicole Killian is on Capitol Hill.
Two of the sticking points, though, are that you have some Republicans already coming out saying they're not going to support a CR. People like Thomas Massey of Kentucky, Marjorie Taylor Greene's expressed some concern out of Georgia, Victoria Sparks of Indiana. But then, too, as you mentioned, you have some Democrats who are threatening to oppose any bill that's not crafted in a bipartisan way that doesn't address the issue of health care. You know, they're still steaming about some of those Medicaid cuts that were made in the One Big Beautiful Bill. They're also concerned about an expiring subsidy from the Affordable Care Act.
Remembrances continue for murdered political activist Charlie Kirk. CBS reporter Natalie Brand says lawmakers on the left and the right say they are concerned about their safety and that it's time to address the radicalization of people online.
President Trump confirmed he will attend Kirk's funeral Sunday at Arizona's football stadium in Glendale and blamed the radical left for political violence.
If you look at the problem is on the left. It's not on the right, like some people like to say on the right.
But House Speaker Mike Johnson called on elected leaders to turn down the rhetoric.
There are some deranged people in society, and when they see leaders using that kind of language so often now, increasingly, it spurs them on to action.
CBS News has confirmed the Trump administration is asking Congress for $58 million to increase executive and judicial branch security.
Another tragic loss for the southern resident killer whales here in Washington. J36 was seen pushing a dead calf near Orcas Island Friday. Experts warn this tragedy highlights the ongoing crisis for the endangered orca population, which faces toxic waters and dwindling food supply. Now let's end with something positive for fried chicken fans. Washington is getting another Chick-fil-A. This fall, the company plans to open a location in Lake Stevens along Soper Hill Road near Marysville. No exact opening date has been announced. Now let's get a check on your drive. KIRO News Radio traffic with Nate Connors.
Hey, thanks, Jillian. Closets by Design has the update. In Renton, we just cleared a crash, South 405 and Northeast 44th. It's on your right shoulder and kind of blocking that on-ramp at the end there just a bit. So this we're left with a backup that starts way back at 112th. Bellevue to Renton has a 10-minute delay. Going the other way, 405 northbound slows from the S-curves to Northeast 44th. Renton to Bellevue is going to take you 20 minutes. Lynwood to Seattle, also 20 minutes. Scattered slowing from Northgate into the U District. The Lake Bridges are all clear. Federal Way to Seattle's a 25-minute commute. And Tacoma to Olympia, wide open, taking just 35 minutes. Custom storage solutions for closets, garages, home offices, and more. Go to closetsbydesign.com to see current specials or call 1-800-BY-DESIGN to learn more. KIRO News Radio, real-time traffic. I'm Nate Connors.
Weather brought to you by State Roofing and Exteriors. Warming up to just 68, but tomorrow will be in the mid-80s. Cooling down to the low 70s by Wednesday. Overnight lows in the high 50s. It is 61 degrees in downtown Seattle right now. I'm Jillian Raftery for KIRO News Radio.
Your best source for local news. You're listening to KIRO News Radio, Northwest News.
This This is the Gee and Ursula Show, and already it is 11:33, and it is time for us to agree to disagree, brought to you by Guardian Roofing and Gutters.
One of these days, we just got to take off the gloves. Just really go at it.
All right, let's dive into the soybeans, y'all. Soybean farmers across the country are having the worst kind of good problem this year. Strong crop, bumper harvest, but they can't sell it. The reason, of course, is tariffs. China used to be the #1 buyer of U.S. soybeans. But because of the trade war, they're buying almost everything from Brazil and South America because it's cheaper once you tack on the tariff penalties. So normally farmers are shipping out 2 out of every 3 rows of soybean crops overseas, and they're just sitting on full bins right now with no buyers. Prices are down to about $9 a bushel when last year they were 15. And so most farms across the Midwest are going to dip into the red this year or potentially fail. So the farm lobby is in D.C., basically begging for relief. And they say they don't want bailouts, but without trade deals or government aid, a lot of them can't even afford to put fuel in their tractors. And we've seen this movie before. The last times tariff choked the soybean market, farmers got $23 billion. Gee, should we bail out the farmers?
Nope. Pull yourselves up by your bootstraps. You know what's interesting? It's crazy because when other industries are hit by some type of global market shift, when something happens in other industries, depending on who you are, right, people say, well, where will the money come from? This is unfair because if we do it for you, we can't do it for others. Let's keep it all the way a buck. When it comes to bailouts for farmers, you want to know why they're in D.C.? Because they have a history of being bailed out, going back to the Great Depression, constantly getting bailed out. Remember in 2018 with the trade war, the Trump administration, it came in over $28 billion. Remember COVID and all that kind of stuff? Over $30 billion. You know what I find interesting is something, I get triggered, Ursula, by that word, bailout and handout, right?
I've noticed. I get triggered because it's so often used, and I know I've been in this, I've been in the media for a little bit of time, but I know the behavior. I know the conversations. I know those things because from my point of view, our point of view and our lens is not looked at very often. People often use the word handout. They use that, let's be real, as a dig. A handout implies laziness, undeserved help. But the bailout, this is what they need. This is an emergency. So this is a handout, and you shouldn't get it. I disagree with you.
Sure.
I totally disagree with you. Okay, so first of all, soybean farmers have been unfairly impacted by U.S. trade policy. Chef mentioned it in the lead-in. The trade war with China cut off their largest export market basically overnight. Unlike other farmers, soybean producers rely heavily on exports. Half of the crop goes overseas. So when the tariffs hit, they lost billions of dollars. That wasn't because of bad farming or market choices, but because of political decisions that were out of their control. Okay, and I know. What about?
Wow.
What about? So in this case, I look at it as a way to stabilize rural economies. Either that or just stop with the tariffs. Okay, but you're protecting jobs. Just in the last few minutes, I was like, okay, soybean producers. It's not just about tofu. It's actually mostly used for feed of animals. So it would have huge impacts if, as was described right now, because of decisions that had nothing to do with what they've done. They are completely screwed.
When people come to ask me to borrow money, I can't keep giving some of you money because it's going to encourage risky decisions and behaviors.
But again, this was not a risky decision. They didn't make this decision.
Who made it for them?
The president.
Oh, okay. Well, that's easy. Show me who you voted for. Come here. Yeah, come on over here. Who'd you vote for? Because President Trump told you. He told everybody that he was going to place tariffs. This ain't no secret. You mean to tell me you come to find out, and there's something in my heart. There's something in my heart that tells me a lot of these farmers voted for this. So they say to me, Gee, you get what you vote for. I'm saying to them, you get what you vote for.
Maybe they didn't vote for it. I'm just saying soybean farmers are much more important than you might give them credit for.
You want to know?
And there's,
you want to know who's important?
Yes,
people.
I know. Yeah, people.
People are important too. So when they get ready,
we're talking about
when they get ready to cut off SNAP.
Okay, but you and I are on the same page on that one.
That's the thing, though, Ursula.
Yes.
People pick and choose how they want to do this. Bailouts, handouts, and I'm sorry, it's the same thing. Look, I've been seeing these maneuvers y'all put, this matrix judo that y'all do all the time going on. Pull yourselves up by your bootstraps.
You are really triggered by this whole
Pull yourselves up.
handout.
Stop buying avocado toast, farmers.
And this is why we need to go beyond the little snappy memes and the little sayings and actually go dig into it a little bit deeper. I'm saying.
But banks and farmers, they get the bailouts all the time. When are we going to bail out people and not have it be
PPP?
Be stuck to laziness.
How many people in 2008, had their homes restored to them after they lost it for a fault that was not their own? That was entirely based on the banks, and we bailed them out. I say no to this, not because I want to hurt the farmers. I don't want them to feel the pain, but because Trump promised. He promised every American dozens of times, you will not pay the price of tariffs. So if we're not going to sell the crop and we're facing a $23 billion shortfall in the market, I'm not paying that because you promised me that I will not pay that. I know that you don't understand economics, and I know you don't understand how tariffs work, but I'm going to hold you to your promise.
There's a text from Lewis and Buckley. It says, G has completely lost me. You know what? I think a lot of times when I get on this show, I believe I've lost a lot of people. And you want to know why I've lost a lot of people? Because so many people are used to things being done and said a certain type of way. Do you know how long in the media that I have had to sit back and hear about handouts? You know how long I have had to hear about you folks need to pull yourselves up by your bootstraps? Do you know how long marginalized communities have spent years and generations constantly seeing others get bailouts? And there's no other industry when they're impacted by the global market that gets the help. But when people need the help, it is attached and assigned to laziness. So I tell you what, when the day comes that I see in the media, in the headlines, that some of these farmers are lazy, the same way people attach laziness to handouts for people, I tell you what, then I'll come back on forward, and maybe things that I say might sound a little bit normal to you. Text messages, feedback, and then we'll have Ursula's words to live by.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan, presented by Carter Subaru.
The Hawks are winning, the Mariners are on a heater. Seems like the perfect time to shut down some lanes on eastbound I-90. 20 months after an expansion joint failed, they're finally getting around to fixing it. I've got your traffic game plan on Tuesday morning on Seattle's Morning News on KIRO News Radio.
Choke Points with Chris Sullivan from KIRO News Radio. Get all of Sully's choke points at mynorthwest.com and the KIRO News Radio app.
I've been telling you about my friends at Bathfitter. They really know their stuff. We had a bathroom that needed to be remodeled. It was my mother-in-law's old house, and we were about to get it on the rental market. And when I tell you this bathroom had not been updated since the 1950s, I'm not even joking. And Bathfitter, the designer came over, and we worked together on creating this beautiful bathroom. And I have to tell you, I was just astounded at the results and the fact that it was priced so reasonably. And they really mean it when they say they can get it done in less than a day. And right now, Bathfitter has just hit a milestone, 42,000 installations in Western Washington. That is 42,000 bathrooms made more beautiful, safer, cleaner, more stylish, and to celebrate, they're offering monthly payments as low as $125 a month. Call Bathfitter today or visit bathfitternw.com to schedule a free consultation because this special offer will not last.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Hey, want to hear something great? Right now at Wendy's, you can get 2 of the #1 selling bacon cheeseburger in all fast food, the JBC, plus medium fries and a medium soft drink for just $8. Want to hear something else great? Double the burger means double the bacon. Now that's a game changer. 2 of the #1 bacon cheeseburgers with fries and a drink for just $8. Gotta be Wendy's.
Limited time only. U.S. price and participation may vary. Request $8 JBC meal deal to obtain discount. Individual items at regular price.
I'm Ed Evans, CEO of Consumer Cellular. We're dedicated to serving people 50 and up, like me. Our needs are different. Big Wireless wants us in an unlimited plan, but if you're not using all that data, you're probably getting used. At Consumer Cellular, we're focused on affordable, reliable plans, including data that suits your needs, not ours. Our plans start at just $20, and you'll get the best customer service in the business.
Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit consumercellular.com/facts or a store near you. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. See site for additional facts.
If you've got a gas-powered engine, keep it running like new at every fill-up. Stable in-season protection is your engine's preventative medicine, cleaning and protecting the entire fuel system in season. In outdoor power equipment, prevent gum and varnish buildup that could cause a rough or non-running engine. For cars and trucks, increase fuel efficiency and power by removing deposits, ensuring your engine's long-term health. Stable outperforms the competition in independent lab testing. So at every fill-up, start with Stable.
The team that gave me back my full head of hair, Advanced Hair, is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. Dr. Perungo and his world-class team begin regrowing your own natural hair the very next day. And Advanced Hair guarantees your new hair will grow, just like they did for me. Find out why Advanced Hair is the best of the best. With your free consultation, you'll receive $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
Cold is leaking and rats are moving and mold is creeping and water seeping in. It's hard to be a homeowner, we know.
Without American Crawl Space and Pest Services, it is hard to be a homeowner. Dave Ross here. American Crawl are the heroes to call for insulation and pest issues because in addition to their great reviews and decades of experience, they also give out the most PSE insulation rebates of any insulation company in the state.
American Crawl, the heroes you call.
Get your free inspection at AmericanCrawl.com.
Open enrollment for Medicare happens every year, but for a lot of people, it's still confusing. Hi, this is Herb Weisbaum, the Consumer Man. Don't worry, help is on the way with a Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit brought to you by the Insurance Commissioner's Sheba program. Find out what's changing and learn about your options for Medicare with 7 easy steps to get ready for open enrollment. Order your free copy of the Medicare Jumpstart Toolkit at insurance.wa.gov or pick up a copy at your local library or senior center.
Oh, it's the Gee Ursula Show. Good stuff here going on.
Ursula, you got them good old text messages for us?
We do, and I know that you have some that you feel have stood out to you, too. When it comes to our state being number one for gas prices in the country.
We're number one.
Bobby in Tacoma said, I paid $3.53 yesterday. Oh, I see. Because he can use his ex-girlfriend's Fred Meyer rewards. Wait, what?
Wait.
All you have to do is type in the number, right, at the pump for the reward.
That's right. Wait a minute, but that's your ex-girlfriend. So, Bobby, does she know? Wait a minute, because
I don't know why you sent this in to Ursula, but go ahead, Ursula.
Because whoa, wait a minute.
Fair game.
Sometimes when I type in my number for my Safeway discount,
You get that 10-cent deal.
Oh, but sometimes it's up to $1 because we shop a lot.
Yeah.
And and if someone else used it, I would be mad.
Sometimes I get nothing when I've spent hundreds of dollars, and I'm like,
maybe your wife is using it though.
Wait a
your
minute.
sons use it?
It goes both ways, though.
They don't.
Because I'm
It's just
sure
either me or
when
Mark.
he goes to the store, he also uses the deal, and she sometimes benefits from him using it.
No.
If it's an ex-girlfriend.
You use yours at checkout and the other one at the gas pump, I'm sure.
Let me admit something. Do you guys know that I have never had my own Safeway Albertsons
No way.
car?
But
You know, I lied to you.
So
who's I'm using now? Lillian's.
Oh, okay, but that's yours together. Okay, I thought you were going to tell me an ex-girlfriend.
I mean,
So I'll be like,
hey,
no.
as soon as we got together, it was mine.
Oh, I gotcha.
All right, keep going, Ursula.
Okay, our conversation with a trans woman who is also a school counselor, an author. We are naming her Elizabeth to keep her safe.
Mm-hmm.
If you missed that conversation, I would just implore you to go back and listen on our podcast. Because I think it's an important conversation. It was the start of one. We have many more questions.
Yeah.
But 253 said, I appreciate you shedding some light on this. I am a trans man who has the privilege of living stealth in my life and at work. I choose not to come out because I'm pursuing a music career locally and becoming more well-known, but I fear the repercussions if I'm exposed. It's unbelievable how uneducated people are and how many stereotypes and misconceptions exist. It is such a great experience for me to have a conversation with someone after they've gotten to know me first, and that has changed a lot of perspectives within my own life and community. Thank you, guys.
Kay says, Elizabeth is very brave. Thank you for sharing the information. It has helped me to understand. And I got to tell you, Ursula, there were, because someone had texted in and says, "Ooh, I bet you your text line is lit up right now."
No,
and
it was beautiful.
It was beautiful.
Yeah, it was. There was very little hate, and it was more if they disagreed with something, it was asking in a very respectful manner. And I thank you for that.
There's more hate on G's talk about the bailouts for the farmers.
Yeah, you got. But I think a lot of people agreed with you. I think a lot of people were disagreeing with me. But anyway, G and I, for anyone who keeps saying, oh, you and G are always on the same page. No, we're not. Okay. Anonymous in the 360 says, nobody talked to me growing up about what being trans was outside of one time in middle school when I heard about it disparagingly in church. Nobody told me this is an option or this might be what you're feeling, but it happened anyway. I got top surgery. I've been on hormones for years, and I passed most of the time as a man. My agenda? I want to someday not to have to be a talk show segment. I would like things to be so normal and uncontroversial that we don't have to focus on it so much. I don't mind people asking questions. I think it is a sign of respect when questions come from honest intentions, but it can feel like people are asking about a zoo animal instead of a person. Invasive questions about my surgical status, my sex life, or discrimination that I face are not what I want to answer. But questions about my feelings, my experiences, or what it means to me, those are very different things, and they're always welcome.
Yeah. That's a good one, Ursula. I got to tell you, I told you all before, I'll say it again, I learned something from that interview when Elizabeth was saying it's not so much what people say, it's how they stare. And Ursula, I got to stop staring. I am guilty of staring.
Okay, and then let's see. We had one more. Jesus in Kent says, I know I will never understand or have an answer that would make me understand what it means to be transgender. One thing is for certain, though, there's no reason to hate anybody. That includes someone hating me because I just don't get it. We all deserve to be treated fairly. There are those who have lost that right, but they should be in jail treated fairly. Jesus and Ken, I love that.
That's a great text. Okay, Ursula, let's get to it. What's your words to live by?
This is on trying to bridge the divide. This is a quote from Audre Lorde, who says, "It's not our differences that divide us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences." I think we have more in common than we might think.
I think that words to live by was spot on. The people's ability to recognize other people's differences. That was spot on. Okay, Brother Nick, what you got, man?
Well, desperately, we needed weekend highs to cure the blues with a hope we came into today with more spring in our shoes. And not only did we get a hefty favor from the Hawks, there were double doses of some wins with M's owning the block. And I must give greater justice for the other winning mark of the highest prices for our gas while driving to T-Mobile Park. I mean, we are technically number one for what it's worth, so we got to celebrate.
I didn't shout out Seattle Storm. They're also in the playoffs. I mean, we're on a roll. Seattle sports.
I mean, but you at least have to acknowledge, because Ursula, I know you, when we're talking about topics, you want to include everybody.
I do.
Can you give some love to the Cougs?
Yeah, I want the Cougs to do better. I want the Cougs to be able to say, "Go Cougs!"
Are the Sounders like in the CONCACAF again this year?
Oh, I watched the Sounders game. It was a tied game. I watched the Sounders game on Saturday
Can't
night.
tell. You went to the game, and this is the first time I'm hearing about it. Oh, sorry. Don't say game. You went to the match.
Match.
I'm sorry.
Yes. It was a beautiful night for soccer. I couldn't help but notice, though, that so many people were at the Mariners game that same night. So many people. It's a fun game, though.
It was packed. Huh?
Mariners game. Yeah, not
Thanks,
the Sounder
Ursula.
game.
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ursula. Thank you, Chef. Appreciate it, man. Nick, appreciate it, man.
You too, man.
Hey, the Jake and Spike Show, they're coming in next. We'll do this again tomorrow. You guys have a great rest of your day. And look, I know Ursula won't watch it, but I'm telling you, Animal Kingdom on Netflix is really good. Appreciate you for rocking with us. Love you for that. And as always, be kind.
Hope you had as much fun as we have. So long, everybody.
If you want static, so let's go. So, throw up your hands, go for what to know. Bro, I got an ego. Yo, talking to me? No.
Now that's how you do it.
He's going left side. He's got some blocking. He turns upfield. He's down inside the 5. Touchdown, Seahawks!
We're all in a good mood this morning because of all the great sports action yesterday.
An impressive road victory in Pittsburgh earns the Hawks their first win on the season.
I mean, taking care of business. What'd you say?
Yesterday's game gave me more hope in what we can do as a team. I love this.
The 12s hear the Hawks right here on KIRO Newsradio on 97.3 FM.
It's G. Scott. School's back, and it's rally time. Time to rally around the campaign to keep kids healthy. Kids need fruits and veggies to grow strong and stay focused, but for families on tight budgets, that's not easy. Safeway and the Washington State Department of Health have teamed up and need your help. Every dollar you donate at Safeway checkout helps families in need. And with SNAP Produce Match, they get twice as much for the dollar. Next time you're at Safeway, please donate to keep kids healthy.
Hartley here from Wilcox Family Farms. I'm so excited to have my cousin Amelia with me today. So, how many chickens do you think there are on the farm?
3,000?
What do you think chickens eat?
Grass.
What else?
Seed.
So, do you know what organic eggs are?
The ones that you put in brownies?
Yes, the ones you put in brownies.
We hope you choose fresh eggs from our family farm.
Wilcox Family Farms eggs, locally fresh
since 1909.
For the news you trust.
Breaking news we are getting.
Experience matters.
Good afternoon. I'm Aaron Granillo.
James Lynch, KIRO News Radio.
Good morning. I'm Heather Bosch.
Luke Ducey, KIRO News Radio.
We're on YouTube, our app, and 97.3 FM.
When you walked through your kitchen this morning, what'd you see? Did it make you happy? Hi, I'm Chad Cicchini, owner of Heritage Homecraft. Well, I want to make you happy. We'll custom build you all new cabinet doors and drawer fronts, and using our exclusive 1/4-inch solid wood refacing process, transform your existing cabinets into a beautiful new kitchen. Add a custom quartz countertop, change things up a bit, add some more cabinets, install some cool new features like soft close drawers and sliding shelves, whatever you like. We'll help you to create the new kitchen you'll be proud of. All in about a week, and all with way less mess, hassle, time, and expense than to tear out. Stop waiting. For 18 years, we've been honored to serve thousands of happy customers, and we'd love to serve you. Call today and I'll get one of our pros to come out and show you how easy and comfortable it'll be to get going on your new kitchen. Heritage Homecraft, 425-485-1600, 425-485-1600, or heritagehomecraft.com.
From office supplies to IT essentials, Amazon Business provides tools to help you save costs and make insight-based decisions. Learn how to bring your visions to life at amazonbusiness.com.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Vanity Fair calls BritBox a delicious streamer. Collider says everyone should be watching. Catch Britain's next best series with BritBox. Stream acclaimed new originals like Code of Silence.
You read lips, right?
And Linley, based on the best-selling mystery series.
Hi, Linley. Take it from here.
And don't miss the new season of Karen Piri, coming this October.
You don't look like police. I'll take that as a compliment.
See it differently when you stream the best of British TV with BritBox. Watch with a free trial today.
Your best source for local news. KIRO News Radio. KIRO FM and HD1. Tacoma's